What is up, bodyweight exercise fans? In today's video of rep ranges for maximizing muscle growth with calisthenics, this is part 3, the last part, we'll be talking about mind to muscle techniques. I'm shooting here in my beautiful Greek mountains as the son of Zeus, as somebody said in the comment section below. Having a good day today, so I'll take that compliment. And the reason I'm focusing so much in this in part 3 on mind to muscle techniques is because, as we said, it's very important to focus most of your workouts within that rep range of 6 and 12 repetitions if you want to maximize muscle growth. So the problem is, that the more you train, the stronger you get, and that rep range becomes easy. Doing 12 push-ups becomes too easy, or even pull-ups. So maybe you're doing 12 reps, but you're not really challenging yourself anymore. So what we want to remember is that you also want to focus on doing tough sets, hard reps and sets, not just banging out repetitions and numbers without really pushing yourself hard, because that's not going to stimulate any muscle growth. So in the gym, increasing the intensity is easy. You just add more weight on the bar or the machine. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury with calisthenics. Now, there are other ways, as we mentioned in part 2, that you can make the exercises more difficult, but usually most of those ways, the most typical ways that people use, create injuries, make the exercise, make you use basically bad form, and that can be a little bit too hard on your body. So the most functional and injury-free way I found to make your repetitions, your sets more challenging are these mind to muscle techniques. So a metaphor I use that I find very helpful is that imagine your body as being the barbell, as we said in the previous video, the barbell basically that you lift in your workouts to get stronger. Well, what mind to muscle techniques are they're basically a way for you to increase the weight on that barbell, your body, yourself, without actually having to add physical weight on top of you. So it's a mental way that you can make the exercise more challenging. And the way you do that is by increasing muscle tension. So you sort of trick yourself, your body, into thinking that it's lifting more weight when it's actually not. I like to think of it as a superpower, but instead of it helping you save the world or people, it just helps you build more muscle. So the way that mind to muscle techniques work is that you learn to make small technical adjustments in your exercise. So for example, with push-ups, you can lean a little bit more to the front to make the exercise more challenging. You can also adjust the range of motion of the repetition, so you can make it sometimes a little bit smaller, so maybe you won't lock out your elbows completely to keep that muscle tension. Maybe you also can increase the range of motion, as I've shown in a tutorial for dips. So I'm going to put that link if you want to check it out right now. Pause this video. And another way, another very important way that mind to muscle techniques create this illusion of you lifting more weight is by using inner cues and sensations. So focusing basically on muscle contractions. And a lot of people use this mind to muscle techniques in a very generic way that just say, focus on the muscle, blah, blah, blah. But I think you need a lot more detailed guidelines to learn to perform them more properly. So I've made a lot of detailed videos, and my recommendation to you, the best way to start learning and applying these techniques is by applying them on the most basic bodyweight exercises. So start with push-ups and pull-ups, and maybe as a third step with dips. I'm going to include all the tutorials above. And the more you train with these techniques, you'll see that they become more of a philosophy, a training philosophy, instead of just a side tool that you use once in a while. Especially if you're focusing on muscle growth, it's something that you must use with calisthenics if you want to keep on growing. So what happens, just to give you a general idea of how this creates more muscle growth, is that through these techniques, through pushing yourself harder and focusing on increasing muscle tension, you stimulate your neuromuscular system in a lot more depth, and that leads to greater recruitment of muscle fiber, that leads to more strength, and all that together leads to building more muscle mass. So that was all I wanted to say about my 2 muscle techniques. For now, make sure that you start applying them on basic bodyweight exercises. Start with pull-ups and push-ups. I'm going to put again the videos above, the video tutorials that I've made. And I've also written some books. You can find them in the description box below. One is for pull-ups, which is called How to Build a Gymnast's Back with Pull-ups. The other one is How to Sculpt the Greek God's Chest with Push-ups. So, you know, if you want this information in a bit of a more structured way. And the other things you want to remember is basically to recap all these 3 parts of rep ranges for maximizing muscle growth with calisthenics is: number 1, focus most of your workouts within that 6 to 12 rep range. Number 2, also take advantage of higher rep ranges, especially the more you grow, you know, the more you get past that beginner's phase and intermediate phase.